warm welcome to our First Lady, Monica Geingos. Many thanks for your time. I think Karina mentioned it already. We are impressed that with this busy schedule that you make it available for us. So I also want to warm welcome to our partners. We have Rivonia here, many thanks, representing the First Rand Foundation. We have the Pupkewitz Foundation, Albert, very close to us, and that shows what can be done. And that exactly brought together our partnership all the years, because we have this formidable partners, but not to forget the Czech Dwellers Association. Without the Czech Dwellers Association, and with this good spirit of collaboration and all the time providing feedback from the Czech Dwellers Association, I will come to that, we wouldn't be here today. And that needs to be always said, that is the core of our thing. Because housing and everybody around or part of this virtual conference today is convinced about it, but housing is a basic need. And our dream is that everybody has it. And if everybody has a house, we have a healthy, happy family life for everybody. So that is our dream. And eradicating poverty, I think, comes automatically with it. Also, what is important for me to mention that we couldn't have done it on our own. In 2015, we had an idea in the last quarter. But I must give credit to our partners. Immediately when we mentioned that Pupkewitz Foundation and the First Rand Foundation at that stage, I can still remember we were sitting around the table and there was no discussion. Did we do it? And then I even looked, in preparation for this meeting yesterday, I looked through, again, the photos from the 3rd of March. And I must give you, our First Lady, a lot of credit. The 3rd of March, we have been in Otavi. And I think that momentum and that energy in that town hall, it was full. We handed over there. And then we went from the town hall, we went to where the first houses in Otavi. And the Czech Dwellers Association haven't been present at that time in Otavi. So those pictures, I think electronic pictures, that makes it today so lovely, where we had the three partners, yourself, and with the main speaker, that gave it the necessary momentum. And in that stage, we committed ourselves as three partners for a 3-year, 3 million partnership. And I must say, and I will come later to that, it was a big success. And that's why I liked today's event again. If I look at one of the local newspapers today, and these are the positive news that we need in the newspapers. If we look at the newspapers today, there is a Czech Dwellers Association with some members building some foundations for some new houses. This is what I think the whole spirit of this partnership is. And if we can have more of these positive news in our local newspapers, I think that would drive even more companies, institutions, stakeholders towards it. And hopefully we can have more positive news. So we committed ourselves to a 3 that was close to 9 million, but we continued. But the objective of this conference here today is that we want to commit ourselves for the next year for another 3 million for all three partners to be reviewed on an annual basis. So that is our big commitment and our message here today. Why are we doing that? And it's mainly because of the trust in the Czech Dwellers Association. And I think that is very important with all the CSI initiatives that companies have, that we need to have trust. And I want to call on others, because we can certainly, and I think all our partners can vouch in terms of the Czech Dwellers Association. Not only, and they can build houses, quick and affordable housing. And we have seen that. And I have certainly visited a lot of sites, not only Otavi. I was in Kalkfeld, I was in Sandi, I was in, I think I counted already 16 sites that I have been, Eifelspey and so on. And this trust in the Czech Dwellers Association, that makes us in committing for a further year. Because it's not only the building of the house and the execution, but it's also the whole administration behind it. Perfect. And this project supports, therefore, various objectives. First of all, it provides jobs, especially under these very challenging times that we have. It supports the long-term initiative. In the long term, it's sustainable for the future. It provides housing. It provides financing. I'm looking here at our partners. It provides the framework. And more important than that is for me, it supports also buying local, buying Namibian, using Namibian services. The Czech Dwellers Association, we are not using any contractor. No, the Czech Dwellers Association is doing that themselves. So the whole growth at home strategy is also indirectly supported by this whole, because we are supporting local Namibian products, local services, and all of that. So I want to take this in concluding my remarks in really congratulating Heinrich and his team. By the way, the Czech Dwellers Association has been the first one in our new boardroom here, beginning of the year, when they presented at their financial statement, and we certainly have been very impressed with that. So they have been part of the history of Ohorongo now, because they have been the first ones here in our office, and they provided us with their audited financial statement. And all of this, I can only come back, provide trust. And that is very important in any partnership. And certainly in these hard economic times in terms of the pandemic, and hopefully we can move out of it sooner rather than later. But that is for us important, and I can only thank our partners again, Pupkewitz and the First Rand Holdings represented today here. Fantastic. I think the proactiveness, and that you don't even have to think twice about it, that you have been very proactive. We are very impressed that we can have these partners, and that we can provide at least some people a place that they can call a home. I think that is very important. That must be our vision and our dream, that everybody can have a place where they stay that they can really call a home. So based on that, I would like to conclude with a slogan from the Czech Dwellers Association, which I certainly love. You know, it's like with safety. One safety incident is too much. But the Czech Dwellers Association, with their slogan, from Czech to Shelter, together we can achieve more. And together, that is with the government, very important, the Czech Dwellers Association, and also with the partners that we have. Together, we couldn't have achieved it ourselves, and it's growing, and that we really provide what is needed for all of us. Thank you for that, and thanks again for your time.
Thanks, Karina, and thanks, Hans-Wilhelm, for your words. And I really want to pick up on what you were talking about in relation to trust, especially in difficult economic times such as this. And I'm also grateful to be speaking on behalf of the Czech Dwellers Federation of Namibia. As many of you know, the Czech Dwellers Federation is a community-based network of housing savings aimed at improving the living conditions of the urban and rural poor who live in shacks, rented rooms, and those without any accommodation, while promoting the participation of women particularly, and with the likes of the Czech Dwellers Federation Youth Organization, also the youth. One of the guiding values of the Czech Dwellers Federation is to insist on being treated as partners and not as charity cases. And I've really watched how the Pupkewitz Group, RMB, and Ohorongo Cement have embraced this spirit and embarked on a journey of real partnership with real outcomes. The Czech Dwellers Federation of Namibia centers community-led involvement in all of its endeavors. We speak a lot about affordable housing, and once we are done, the question becomes low income for who? When we build houses of 350,000 Namibian dollars, when the research of the Czech Dwellers Federation is saying that the average income is from about 4,000 Namibian dollars downwards, who are we building those houses for? And that's why it's important to listen to communities. So we speak a lot about affordable housing, and we need to speak more about housing for low income, because to construct houses for our communities requires bottom-up and citizen-driven interventions, coupled with targeted assistance of the government and the private sector. This is what the Czech Dwellers Federation stands for, and that's what this partnership is about. Hans-Wilhelm, as you correctly said before, it's also about trust. And the Czech Dwellers Federation is a powerful agent of change and has empowered thousands of Namibian households with land and low-income housing. They've done this by ensuring that the voice of the community is always heard, and through results and good governance, serve as an excellent best practice example on how to mobilize stakeholders and how to deliver on our common objectives in a cost-effective manner. This fund is characterized by prudent and transparent financial management, which builds the trust that Ohorongo Cement was talking about just now. It is a strong example of a community-led capacity to manage donor funds, whether they come from the private sector or from government. It's also a reminder that we won't make any meaningful dent in the need for decent shelter if stakeholders don't work together. This is why we call on as many stakeholders as possible to support the coordination of existing initiatives around informal settlement upgrading through a national alliance. The reality is that the likes of Shack Dwellers Federation are doing well, but we need to upscale the activities and make more housing available to more people quicker. The only way to do this is through collaboration and partnerships which prioritize the needs of low-income groups. The Shack Dwellers Federation has developed a national footprint with membership reaching all 14 regions, and their extensive experience in servicing land and building thousands of houses makes them a critical voice in the policy discussion aimed at resolving the national housing backlog. We aren't able to solve problems we don't understand. And from what I've observed, the Shack Dwellers Federation, through community-led research, plays such an important role in identifying and proposing appropriate solutions. At the One Economy Foundation, our vision is to build a bridge of opportunity between the first and second economy through ensuring access to critical services and opportunity. And the Shack Dwellers Federation model speaks directly to these ethos. So today's handover is an excellent example of how we can establish partnerships in order to leverage and optimize our resources, strengths, networks, and knowledge. Although these are challenging times economically, we have observed and are very inspired by the goodwill of many Namibians and businesses to come together and mobilize resources for a cause. When I see a hardware retailer like Pupkewitz, when I see a cement manufacturer like Ohorongo Cement that is very exposed to the building industry, when I see an entity like RMB, and we've seen the earnings warnings coming from banks, and then I see your commitment to provide 3 million in such a difficult year, that is true commitment. And that is understanding of a partnership that works and which really negates the terrible consequences that COVID-19 has had on not only the Namibian economy, but global economies. And in order for us to achieve the goals that we subscribe to in our national and international development frameworks, it's crucial that we form genuine and sincere partnerships like these. A key priority for us in the Office of the First Lady is to ensure that our interventions are evidence-based and are informed by the lived experiences of those we participate with. And by its very nature, this is the essence of how the Shack Dwellers Federation operates, by having regular meetings with their community members, listening to grievances, experiences, and solutions presented by local communities. The Shack Dwellers Federation would not be successful without the support of local authorities, and through the able and focused leadership of the line minister. I'd also like to thank all the local authorities, regional councillors, all the governors for making land available to the Shack Dwellers Federation so they can do the very important work of availing land and services to people who really need it. And now to give attention to our most important guests today, Ohorongo Cement, RMB Namibia, and the Pupkewitz Foundation. Thank you for your diligent support to the Shack Dwellers Federation since 2016, when we launched this partnership in Otavi. And since 2016, these partners have contributed to delivering 284 houses nationwide in towns such as Okongo, Keetmanshoop, and Hinties Bay. These aren't just numbers, they are lives that have been changed. And if we're talking about 240 houses, we're talking about 240 households, which you can probably multiply by an average of 6 people. So the impact has been huge. And it's important that we speak about people and not just the statistics, because these numbers are people. When we look at these zinc homes on the hills, it's not shacks, it's people inside there. And we must never forget that. In conclusion, I really want to highlight that the Shack Dwellers Federation plays a critical role in making urban development more socially just and inclusive. And in order to adequately address the housing challenge, we need partners and stakeholders working from different ends with varied approaches. And these efforts will collectively work towards achieving and providing decent and affordable housing. And I really want to emphasize the point made by Mr. Schütte from Ohorongo Cement, that what cements these partnerships is trust. I'm grateful to attend this virtual handover in my capacity as the patron of the Shack Dwellers Federation of Namibia. And I'd like to again thank RMB Namibia, Ohorongo Cement, and the Pupkewitz Foundation for making this work possible.
16, we were indeed blessed as the Federation in Namibia Housing Action Group that Ohorongo Cement, FNB, and Pupkewitz Foundation joined the Nobel gesture to work with the Federation and making sure that the Federation is building more houses. This partnership was launched by the First Lady of the Republic of Namibia, Madam Monica Keinkos, in Otavi. Since then, we are able to build more houses in Otavi. Since the partnership, we have managed to build 70 houses in Otavi. We have managed to, the fund has actually increased the support by the Shack Dwellers, and we are actually honored that the three partners are assisting the Federation in adding value to their process. This year, Ohorongo Cement also participated in, also contributed the amount of 500,000, and they also supported the Wolfish Bay group by giving them a container and training them how to make bricks. You can see the bricks there. Now they are busy servicing the land, and very soon they will build the houses.
Thank you, Ohorongo Cement. Thank you, Pupkewitz Foundation.
Thank you very much. I'm so happy.
Thank you so much for the kind words and appreciation and your encouragement for collaboration, because we all see those people and we want to affect change. And if we don't change the lives of people, then we need to change what we do. So we are happy to collaborate to try and make a difference, and also to inspire others to also come on board. On behalf of the three partners, thank you again very much for your time today, and that concludes our meeting. Thank you, and God bless.